Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I told you guys I was going to talk about Canadian experience class. Here you go. Do me well to like, share, subscribe, click on the thumbs up, and tell as many people as possible that they can take advantage of this information. It's invaluable and it's pretty detailed. I went through it. So Canadian experience class. Ready for the gist? Let's go. I'm so excited, people. I'm just so excited. Anyways, let's get to the gist. Today we'll be talking about Canadian experience class. I'm sure you've already subscribed. If you're a new subscriber, go ahead and subscribe, please. So what is Canadian experience class? It is one of the programs required. It's one of the programs that allows you to become eligible. It's one of the eligibility criteria in order to be considered as a permanent residency, right? So you need to meet one of the criteria. Either you're a federal you're a federal skilled worker or federal skilled trade or Canadian experience class in order for you to be eligible and be ranked in the express entry system and be put in the poll. So I talked about federal skilled worker, federal skilled trade. I will leave the link in the description. If you don't know what express entry is, check here. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that link there so you know educate yourself in regards to express entry, no code, no level, and all that jargon. So I will, on this particular video, I will be buttressing Canadian experience class. Canadian experience class, you need to have 1 year work experience in the last 3 years from which you submitted your application under the express entry system in Canada. So you have to be in Canada. However, if you go back to your home country, as long as you have that 1 year work experience, you're still eligible. However, when you submit your application, it has to be within the last 3 years. Okay, so 1 year in the last 3 years, you submitted your application. Just don't want to mix that up. Now, there are certain things that are required when you have that work experience. You have to be on that certain NOC levels, NOC level O, NOC level A, or NOC level B. I mentioned that in my express entry program, but I will reiterate it here for you guys. So NOC code O is managerial job position. So let's say you're a manager in a restaurant, you are a restaurant manager, you are an admin manager, you are supervisory manager, you are a clerk manager, any kind of manager, you are eligible under NOC code O. For NOC code A, it's professional jobs or degree, so like a doctor or an accountant. As long as it calls for a degree, the employer asks for a degree, you are eligible under NOC code A. NOC code B is for technical job roles as well as skilled trade. So if you are a chef or a plumber, an electrician, you're under the skilled trade. You just have to show your certificate, though, that you have like a certificate that you are an electrician in Canada. And technical roles such as IT specialist, like me, web designer, and all that, you show that as well. Then you're eligible under NOC code B. So there's NOC code O, managerial, A, professional, B, skilled or technical job roles. Now, for the 1 year work experience, it doesn't have to be 1 year continuously, like you want to kill somebody. So it's 30 hours, which is equivalent to 1,560 hours, 15 hours, which is part-time, equivalent to 15 hours per week, equivalent to 1,560 hours, so which would be 24 months, right? So just reiterating, full-time is 30 hours in 12 months, which is 1 year, or 1,560 hours. Part-time is 24 months, 15 hours, which is also equivalent to 1,560 hours. Just show that and you're good, you're eligible. That is the major requirement. The work experience is the major requirement. If you did not really meet the language, it's not that bad, but that major 1 year work experience in the last 3 years, you need to fulfill that under those NOC levels. The minimum requirement, although this says minimum, it does not mean you don't need to get it. You still need to get it. It's the language. So you have to get, for NOC code B, CLB 5, O and A, you have to get CLB 7. So CLB is the Canadian language benchmark. To meet that benchmark, you have to get certain scores. I put the list in the description below so you can compare. CELPIP exams you can take, approved exams is CELPIP, official language exams, IELTS, TEC, TCF. I took IELTS, and I will leave the link in the description for basic things I said, but I want to get into detail for IELTS. I'll be making more videos in regards to that. I am committed to making more videos. Anyways, also for education, if you did not get your education in Canada, so let's say you came via a spousal work permit or so, and you still have that 1 year work experience or whatnot, you have to do education credential assessment, and just to show that your proof of education that you have degree upwards, it has to be BSc, but masters. If you have high school diploma, it's considered ineligible. So you have to have a BSc, like not, it could be, it doesn't have to be like, what am I saying? Because people have BA, yes, BSc, there's BA, right? Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science, but it has to be a bachelor's, okay? It has to be a bachelor's, that's what I wanted to say. So yeah, you compare that to the Canadian language benchmark. So if you are under managerial position, so let's say you are a store manager, you have to get CLB 7. So reading, listening, writing, speaking, band 7 and above. If you are a web designer, so you're under no code B, CLB 5 and above. It's best to get higher, so improves your CRS points. However, that's a minimum requirement, and I told you guys about education. You can always do ECA. Now, you have to have a valid work permit at the time. I don't know, it didn't say it on the website, but I realized it's a big thing. You have to have a valid work permit at the time you applied for your express entry with your Canadian experience class. You have to have a work permit. Now, if you have submitted your application, you got an invitation to apply, good job, and your work permit expires, you can always apply for a bridging open work permit. I will leave the link in the description for the 3 types of work permits, because a lot of people get confused with LMIA, open work permits and all that. So I'll leave a link, watch that as well. That we are clarified what a bridging open work permit is, because I'm trying to keep the time limit. So yeah, make sure you have a work permit. So let me just reiterate, the number 1 major requirement is your work experience. Minimum requirement is language, ECA, or your proof of education via BSc if you did your BSc in Canada, and you have to have a valid work permit, okay, at the time you applied. You have to have a status. Now, I wanted to mention one thing. There's something called ineligibility. There are certain things that can make you ineligible, and you need to listen to this. If you have committed a crime in Canada or in your home country, that can be considered ineligibility. You understand? So, because they will ask you that you should provide 10 years. You have to show 10 years police certificate. So 10 years, which means you have to bring that from your home country as well as in Canada. So yeah, you want to make sure that is clean, and also medical condition. I know people who have had medical condition, as long as it's not something that you would depend on the government on, and it's not a danger to the public or a danger to public health services or public safety, it's fine. However, just make sure you I know everybody has something they're going through. Just make sure you treat yourself. Even mental health, if you have mental health, is ineligible. So you want to make sure it's something you are currently treating and it will not affect the society. Good job. So yeah, please subscribe, like and share. Come on. So after applying for all these and you get your invitation to apply, remember they go by the CRS score. Right now they are calling Canadian experience class. I did an exciting video somewhere on my YouTube channel. You can go check that out. They give over 27,000 invitations to apply to Canadian experience class, which means you are in Canada. And I already mentioned the nitty-gritty. So if you are just coming, listen to the whole video. You understand? Listen to the whole video and get the gist. So yeah, it's a tough battle. I always tell people, seek the face of the Father when doing this, because it was tough for me. It was a very tough experience for me, but it is possible. Nothing is impossible to those who believe. So yeah, once you've submitted your information, you're eligible under the Canadian experience class, you get invitation to apply for your permanent residency, you are good. So don't be what to like, share, subscribe. Click on the thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section what you want me to talk about. I know some of the struggles is IELTS. A lot of people struggle with IELTS. I'll be doing more detailed video and tell you what strategies I used and how I was able to conquer. And I think I showed you my result on my previous video. Subscribe. You've not subscribed. Okay, see you on the next video.